Hello and welcome to another NDI Show. I'm your host, John Powell, and today we're going to look at an app called the Studio Monitor. Now, this is an NDI tool that was released by Newtek in various forms. We're going to look at the latest version that was released because I believe there's some things in there that maybe are extremely helpful to new users as well as experienced users. And it'll give you the ability to do things maybe you haven't thought about before. So let's take a look at the interface. How's the sound? Check, check, check,
Sounds
check,
great.
check, check.
Sounds great.
All right, go ahead and put the earphones down and go in your room. I'm going to shut the door and I'm going to roll through it. Cuz, thanks. Before we look at the interface, the first thing I want to do is open a web browser, which I've done already. And it's www.newtek.com/NDI/tools. And on this page, you will see the ad for all the tools. As I scroll down, the new ones are 3.7, Studio Monitor, and a bunch of other stuff, Scan Converter, Virtual Input. And a lot of these have been updated, but today we're going to focus on the Studio Monitor. So I already have that kind of plugged in, and I'm running it right now. So if I right-click, I will see, here we go. If I right-click, I will see all my sources. So this is basically one TriCaster I have. This is the machine I'm working on, the Capture. This here is my Studio TriCaster, and there's some other menus. But what's really cool about this is now this app lets you view anything that's on the network. So if I want to look at a DDR by chance, there's a DDR rolling. If I want to look at a buffer. Now the one thing about the buffers and stuff, there's different options for different TriCasters. So mine basically will show you different things on here. So we're going to go, I guess there's nothing in buffer 1 right now. But one thing that is really cool about this is my unit has the new 7.0 software. And that lets me look at my user interface of my TriCaster. This applies to VMC and TC1s, Newtek. And what this does is you have this little button here called KVM, and once you activate that, now I can remote control my TriCaster using the Video Studio Monitor app, which is really cool because now if you're on location somewhere and you want to switch a show, or you're setting up LED walls or such, and you can't get to the control room, as long as you're on the same network or LAN, you can basically run Studio Monitor and control your TriCaster. And this will even go to the point where you can control it down to Windows. It doesn't just control the interface of the TriCaster. You can get down to the Windows and reboot it and such. But what also is very, very cool about this is, as you can see, if you have a computer with multiple outputs, you can open up another Studio Monitor. And as an option, you can look at the multi-viewers. So there's one of the other multi-viewers that's in the, it's over NDI. So it's almost like having a virtual control room wherever you can, just using Studio Monitor. Now, there is some settings in here that I'd like to do, but let's put something simpler online here to kind of show you. Here, let's go to a DDR. And if you look in the corner here, you can see the VU meter. So there's audio on this. So the Studio Monitor will show you if you have audio. But if we go into settings here, this will basically show, you can adjust audio, you can adjust your video, you can show alpha, checkerboards if you're doing stuff with alpha channel. You have different overlays like center crosshairs, sort of the old school settings for certain things. But there's the overlays that are built in a TriCaster. You can basically do it in here as well. And this can be really powerful. You have safe areas, so I can turn that on for if you're laying graphics over something. It's just very handy. Like back in the old days when you had professional monitors in your control room, you would have these as buttons as options. Now, with this free app, basically any computer with a fairly decent graphics card in it or an internal graphics card can run Studio Monitor. And at that point, you can have Studio Monitor applications going on. There's also an output here, so I can send this to different outputs. There's a lot of options that they have updated this. So if you want to scale video to window, or always have it on the top window, or hide the window's border, I can click that and hide the border, or I can move to a quadrant. So if I do that, this is another really cool feature. I can move that to one quadrant, and what I'll do is on my other monitor, I'll launch another version of this Studio Monitor. One sec here. And now here's another version of Studio Monitor right here, and I can send this to a quadrant. Where is that at? Overlay. Output. Move to quadrant. Here you go. So now I have 2. And now I notice that you don't even have to go to the thing. You can come in here and go to Settings, Application, New Monitor. So now I have a third monitor I can bring over. So what I'm trying to get to is you can build your own monitor walls now just by using your Studio Monitor app, and you can have this so when it boots up, you basically have your own monitor wall, which is really cool because as well it has tally into it as well, so you can have tally activated, whatever's online. It's really a cool application. Here's your tally. You can have the option of turning that on and off, or your VU meters on and off. Or if you have lower bandwidth, it's more of a lower quality signal. But it's really kind of really cool of what you can do with this. There's my move to quadrant. So these keep these all kind of in order here. Let's do one more. New monitor. It's over on my other screen. I'll drag it over. And now I can take this and go to Settings, Output, move to Quadrant. It's under Overlay. Move to Quadrant. So now I have basically a monitor wall here, and what's cool about this is now I can select anything I want to see in here. So if I want to see graphics from a PC or my DDRs, user definable. It's really a powerful app, and it's really cool because you can set it up any way you like. It's really customizable. So there, now I've got 4 different monitors, so you can do like a quad split with your monitors, and it's a good inexpensive way to do a multi-view. So if you have some monitors and you have the bandwidth and you want to have monitors up there with showing different things, you don't need an inexpensive multi-view system. You can use a Studio Monitor app to be able to configure a look that you want, and the flexibility. The cool thing about NDI, folks, is it's all IP driven. So once again, anything on the network you can bring in over IP. So Like I said, all my settings are in here. That's my TriCaster Mini right there. I can see my mix settings on it, or my VMC here. It's just really, really cool. There's the user interface on that one. And let me do the multi-views here. This will kind of show you the power it'll do. Multi-view 3. So right now there's my basically my switcher, and I think these are set differently. Multi-view 1. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, they're set the same. So right now there's basically my output monitors, my multi-views, my user interface, and my VMC. And like I said, I can come into here and turn the KVM on, and as you can see, I can change whatever is on my preview or program row. It's pretty powerful and really cool. Notice there's not much lag in it either. I mean, it's whatever you click on it, it's instantly there. So this is the NDI Studio Monitor app version 3.7. It's on the Newtek website, and I hope this brief explanation showed you everything that was available and things you could do with it. So that basically shows you the flexibility of NDI Studio Monitor app. It's really a cool thing, and the thing about Newtek is things are constantly evolving. Well, that wraps another edition of the NDI Show, folks. I hope that some of those tips and tricks on that interface help you in your workflow and all your future productions. Also, if you'd like to check us out on YouTube or Facebook, look up the NDI Show. We'll see you next week.
Tune in every Tuesday for new episodes of the NDI Show. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram.